Hello, peachies! Welcome back to Dear Peachy. If you're chronically online on TikTok, then you already know smoky eye makeup has never left the chat. It's one of those timeless looks that just keeps reinventing itself. You can make it sultry, soft, edgy, romantic. It really all depends on the vibe you're going for. And today, we're doing a soft, romantic smoky eye that leans more toward that East Asian beauty aesthetic. Honestly, it kind of reminds us of that iconic Song Hye Kyo smoky eye look that's been living rent-free in our minds for years. This look was created by Fang, a China professional makeup artist who works on various commercial shoots. If you scroll through her page, you'll see such a wide range of styles, from clean and minimal to full-on glam, and you can really tell she knows her craft. If you're a makeup nerd who loves learning pro techniques, her content is definitely something you'd enjoy. Without further ado, let's get into it. Fang starts by prepping the model's skin with an oil-controlling sunscreen primer, applying it across the entire face and blending from the center outward. Notice how she's using a flat foundation brush, because this helps her control the amount of product and make sure everything goes on in a thin, even layer. Since the model doesn't have any major blemishes, she goes straight in with foundation. Fang strategically layers a bit more product on the inner areas of the face and keeps the outer areas lighter. This creates a very natural tone contrast and subtle dimension. Once the foundation is evenly distributed, she goes back in with a cushion puff to gently pat everything into the skin. Next, she brightens the crevices of the face, under the eyes, around the nose, and the corners of the mouth using a light nude concealer. For better control, she blends it out using a small finger puff, which allows her to be precise and really press the product into those detailed areas. For contour, Fang applies a contour stick to the outer areas of the cheekbones, the sides of the cheeks, and along the jawline. She first lightly dabs the product to diffuse the pigment, then gently swipes outward to create a soft, natural-looking shadow. She finishes by going over the edges with a puff to make sure everything melts seamlessly into the base. For the nose contour, she focuses on the tip, bridge, and the root. She draws a small U shape at the tip, leaves about a 5 mm gap, then adds 2 subtle L-shaped lines along the bridge and a soft C shape at the root. Again, she dabs the product first, then gently blends it out with a nose contour brush for that natural gradient effect. To enhance the dimension, she uses a matte highlighter on the tip and the root of the nose, then softens the edges with a blending brush so there are no obvious lines. Then, she sets the entire base with a light layer of setting powder to lock everything in place. Moving on to the eyes, Fang begins with a light mauve shade from the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette and blends it all over the upper lid as the base shade, extending slightly into the lower lash line and that egg yolk cell area. Next, she picks up a light champagne shimmer from the Tom Ford Eye Color Quad Body Heat and applies it to the inner portion of the upper lid and the front of the agiosal using her fingers. Next, she goes in with a shimmery red top shade and blends it upward into the crease on the upper lid. She uses the same shade along the outer corner of the egg yolk cell and softly blends it toward the front. Before moving on to liner, Fang curls the model's lashes first. For eyeliner, she starts by tightlining the eyes with a black gel liner, filling in the lash roots all around to define the eyes. Then, right above that black tightline, she layers a brown gel liner. This slight color shift makes the eyes look wider and more awake, instead of too sharp or harsh. At the outer corner, she follows the model's natural eye shape and extends the liner horizontally to subtly elongate the eye. To soften everything, she takes a deep bronze top shade and blends it directly over the liner. Starting from the lash roots, she diffuses the color upward to blur any harsh edges. She also blends the shadow inward from the extended liner to enhance the eye structure. For the lower lash line, she uses the brown gel liner again on the outer corner, then blends it out with the same deep bronze top shade to keep the outer corner diffused and soft. She lightly pulls the color toward the front to create that gradual, smoky gradient. Switching to a smaller brush, she goes back to the shimmery red Taupe shade and applies it from the lower outer corner upward toward the extended liner. This step ties the whole eye look together. She also uses that same red Taupe shade to lightly contour the aiguille cell and define the lower inner corner. Since we're going for something romantic and delicate, Fang chooses a more minimal, natural-looking pair of false lashes. The separated, wispy style keeps the eyes airy instead of dramatic. She then enhances them with mascara too. If you really want to open up the eyes, adding a few lower lash falsies is also a great option. To create a subtle, dewy glow around the eyes, Fang taps a pale purple cream blush along the front of the crease area. For brows, we're keeping things soft and understated. She uses brow powder to create a fuzzy, diffused shape. Any sparse areas are filled in with fine, hair-like strokes to mimic real brow hairs. To finish, she applies a tinted brow gel to slightly lighten the overall brow tone. For blush, Fang reaches for a pearlescent light pink shade from the Tom Ford cheek color. She applies it to the inner part of the cheekbones, then lightly diffuses a touch across the bridge and tip of the nose. Finally, for the lips, Fang starts by applying a nude shade to slightly tone down the model's natural lip color. She then goes in with a muted peach color, concentrating it at the center of the lips and blending it outward. This gradient placement creates that soft, pouty effect. For highlight, she adds a silvery glow from a highlighter onto the tip and bridge of the nose, as well as the inner corners of the eyes. She then goes back in with a purple blush from Can Make and layers a touch of it over the inner cheek area, right on top of the existing blush. And if you want to take it one step further, adding a tiny false mole can give the look a bit more distinctive character. And that's it. With some styling to her hair, it completes the entire look. We love how this makeup feels romantic and polished, but still wearable. It's smoky, but not overpowering. What do you think? Comment to let us know. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video. Goodbye.